live radio, local podcasts, the Frederick Podcast Network at listenfrederick.com.
The Fedora Files.
Hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I am Gregory Fedora and I am so happy you are here. We're going to do something a little bit different. Well, not really different, but something we haven't done in a while. And that is AI theater. I went to two different AI sites and gave them a prompt, the exact same prompt. And we're going to see who did a better job. This week's prompt was, write me a short story about the creature known as the Squonk. Now, I decided to, as always, ChatGPT because, they've been around the longest. But now Google has Google Gemini. It's not brand new, but I've never used it. I've never done Google Gemini. So I thought, you know what? Let's do Google Gemini versus ChatGPT with the prompt again. Write me a short story about the creature known as the Squonk. So here we go. Here's what Google Gemini had to say. The lament of the lonesome Squonk. The air in the hemlock forest of northern Pennsylvania always carried a peculiar dampness, not just from the morning dew or the recent rain, but from something far more sorrowful. It is said that if you listened closely enough, especially at twilight, you could hear a faint, desolate weeping. That was the lament of the Squonk. No creature was more miserable than the Squonk. Its skin, perpetually ill-fitting, was covered with warts and blemishes, making it a truly unsightly beast. Every breath was a sigh, every step a shuffling testament to its profound sadness. It avoided all contact, preferring the solitude of the deepest, darkest parts of the forest, where the hemlock branches intertwined so thickly that even the sun struggled to pierce through. One brisk autumn evening, a persistent trapper named J.P. Wentling, known for his relentless pursuit of rare oddities, ventured deeper than usual into the Squonk's territory. He had heard the tales, of course, the whispers of the creature that cried itself to death, if ever cornered. Skeptical but intrigued, he followed the sound of the mournful whimpering, a sound that seemed to pull at the very fabric of the forest's silence. After what felt like hours, JP stumbled upon a small, hunched form nestled amongst the roots of an ancient hemlock. It was a Squonk, no doubt. Its large, dark eyes were red-rimmed and perpetually overflowing, its entire body quivering with unending sorrow. As JP cautiously approached, the Squonk let out a gasp, a sound so heartbreaking it made the sturdy trapper pause. The creature tried to flee, its awkward, warty skin seeming to ripple and stretch as it struggled to move. JP, fueled by his desire for capture, lunged forward, but just as his hand reached out, the Squonk let out a final shuddering sob. To JP's astonishment, the creature didn't run, didn't fight. Instead, it began to dissolve. First, its misshapen form blurred at the edges. Then its details softened, like a watercolor left in the rain. Within moments, the Squonk, the embodiment of sorrow, had completely melted into a puddle of glistening tears, leaving behind nothing but a faint, briny scent on the forest floor. And the echo for its final mournful cry. JP stood there, his hand outstretched, staring at the wet earth. He had found the Squonk, yes, but its true nature had defied his grasp, proving that some creatures are meant only to be heard and never truly caught. My parents used to say it was better to be seen and not heard, usually when I started to talk. Perhaps that's the same thing for the Squonk. Better to be heard? No, not seen nor heard. Probably best to just leave it alone. I was better to be seen and not heard. They didn't like to hear me or see me or anything. They always told me to go in the woods. And a lot of times we're like, go ahead, go to the woods, go cry about it. I guess they thought I was a Squonk. I don't know. But that was Google Gemini's version of the story. Now, let's go on to ChatGPT. Can they defend it? I have to say that I really liked Google Gemini's take on the squonk. Now let's see what uh, ChatGPT comes up with. Here we go. The last cry of the squonk. They say the squonk never leaves the hemlock swamps of northern Pennsylvania. Ugly thing, skin mottled like lichen, warts that look ready to sprout mushrooms, and eyes too big for its head. It knows what it looks like. That's the worst part. It knows. Henry Baker didn't believe in such nonsense until the night he got lost on the logging road. Fog had rolled in thick, the moon just a pale coin swimming behind it. He heard something in the trees, soft, wet sobbing. Not the kind of crying you hear from a person, but the strange, hiccuping wail of something that has been sad for so long it's turned grief into a daily chore. Following the sound, Henry found it, a squat, trembling animal with folds of loose skin hanging like a coat several sizes too big. It wouldn't look at him. It just cried harder, dripping tears onto the forest floor until the soil turned to mud. "Don't cry," Henry said without thinking, as if words could fix a thing like that. The squonk looked up at him then, its eyes like deep brown puddles, and in the gaze Henry saw it understood every insult ever thrown its way, every gasp of disgust, every door closed, and then it started to fade. First the edges of its body blurred. Then the whole thing ran like watercolors in the rain. Ooh, this is like they both like that phraseology. AI likes watercolors in the rain. Look at that. By the time Henry blinked, all that remained was a damp patch in the moss, still warm. They say the squonk dissolves entirely when confronted, leaving nothing but a puddle of tears. Henry never told anyone, but he avoids those swamps now, not because he fears the creature, but because he can't stand the sound of crying in the fog. If Henry never told anyone, then how did I get this story? Gosh, ChatGPT, you need to do better. I'm going to have to say that I think Google Gemini did a better job with the story. And I can't say that, well, I did go to Google Gemini first and gave them the prompt and then ChatGPT. So Google Gemini wrote it first, then ChatGPT. So did ChatGPT plagiarize the whole watercolors in the rain? Perhaps from Google Gemini, which probably, stole that from somebody too, because AI doesn't really come up with these phrases. They steal from elsewhere. But anyway, so what did you guys think? Do you prefer Chat GPTs or Google Gemini? And which one should I go to next for the next AI theater? Well, hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, stay safe and keep searching.